College Football Committee poll is going to come out again tonight. That's right, for championship week. And I think this really boils down here to what happens in the Alabama-Georgia game and what happens in the Texas Tech-BYU game. And if Alabama and Texas Tech win those games, and let's just say Georgia loses by 3 again, and BYU cuts this deficit from last time from like 3 scores down to like a touchdown, then all of a sudden it's going to be real nice and tidy here. You can just say we're not going to punish those two teams for losing their championship games. They would both have 2 losses, but they would come to the same team, which both of those teams are going to be ranked in the top 4. So at that point, this is a nice little bundle for the committee. It's easy. They don't have to make a decision between Notre Dame and Miami because they would both be out in this scenario. So you'd have Ohio State 1. I'm going to say Ohio State's going to beat Indiana just because the trenches in this game is going to be the difference. It'll probably be a close game, but I'm going to put Ohio State winning this game. But let's just say they lose. Nothing really changes. They just switch spots. So Ohio State 1, Texas Tech would be 2. Alabama, in my opinion, beating Georgia again would jump to 3. Indiana losing to Ohio State would fall to 4. Texas A&M 5. Oregon 6. Georgia would fall to 7. Ole Miss would come in at 8. I don't think the committee at this moment is going to punish Ole Miss. There is a scenario where they could kick them out, and that would be a scenario where they kick BYU out and Ole Miss out. BYU for a bad loss in the championship game, Ole Miss for not having a coach. Then they can sneak Miami and Notre Dame back in this thing as a pair, but I don't think they're going to do that. Oklahoma would come in at 9. BYU off of losing the championship game there, and the Big 12 would come in at 10. Virginia would be at 11, or if Virginia loses to Duke, it would be the winner of North Texas Tulane there, and then the 12th spot would either be North Texas Tulane or JMU, depending on what happened with Virginia. So that's the nice little bundle there. You just don't even have to make a decision between Notre Dame and Miami. It makes the committee easy. Vanderbilt gets out in this situation. Sorry, Vanderbilt. There's already 5 SEC teams in now. So if Georgia if Georgia beats Alabama, then it's easy to kick Alabama out of this thing, and then you can kick BYU out pretty easily, and then you can get you can still keep Ole Miss in at that point and put Miami and Notre Dame in, or you can kick Ole Miss out and put Vanderbilt in. But the bottom line is, I think the first scenario is a nice, easy bundle for the committee. Georgia, BYU losing the championship game by just a smidgen. They don't have to worry about Notre Dame, Miami. Todd talks college football. We'll see you tomorrow.